Brand new all-time highs for Bitcoin, and there's some great news for a couple of those other altcoins like XRP, Chainlink, HBAR, and ONDO. We are still in the thick of the crypto bull market, and today we're going to talk about all of the details you need to know to stay up to date with your crypto portfolio. But with all these pumps, are we approaching a local top? I'm going to discuss the details, what I'm seeing on the charts that you need to be aware about. So make sure to stick around all the way until the end. But first, you got to smash that like. YouTube always likes when you smash the like. Gets more people in here. If you're new, we're so glad you're here. Please consider hitting that subscribe button. But first, we got to roll the intro. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. We are the Investing Bros. I never said that in the intro. Maybe that's going to be a new thing. Maybe I change up how we introduce the show. But I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Mr. T-Shroom, wearing his Under Armour shirt. I love it. Fun fact, before I ask you how you're doing, at one point, I purposely, I'm not a matcher. I don't know if anyone's picked up on, you always see me in black or anything. I'm not a matching type of guy. But at one point, I matched my entire wardrobe with only Under Armour apparel. I do think of all the athletic apparel, it is the best. That's just a fun fact for you, though, a little tidbit about Tim. How are you doing today, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing better than I deserve, Tim. I really am because I've got my Under Armour swag going.
You're ready. You're ready for the game.
That's right. The big game of life. I'm actually curious.
Actually, you're ready to protect this house. Anyone who knows the old commercials.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Yeah.
What a reference. Not quite a joke, but we give it
It's not a joke. That was the tagline of Under Armour.
Right. It was a house worth protecting, and so far the house has been protected, and that's
good.
In no small part to Under Armour wearers. But yeah, moving this weekend. Going to be kind of a crazy week.
Yeah.
I'm going to be moving. Not up to you quite yet. Going to be moving up to Atlanta eventually in the new year. We're going to be moving back up to North Central Florida. So away from the beach. We're waving the beach goodbye, waving the Space Coast goodbye. Hopefully we'll get to see a couple more rockets launch this week. And then we're going to be headed back up to North Florida.
There we go. Yeah, I mean it's a good holiday weekend. I mean, you're moving again. As you guys noticed, Smay is not here. Smay is sick right now.
Yeah. So
prayers and thoughts for Smay. Get better. We want to see him back as soon as possible. We're getting very close to the Christmas season, Shroom.
That's right.
But guess what? We're going to take a look at what's going on in the markets as we prepare for Christmas. Let's go look at those bubbles. And it's a confusing day right now. In the last 24 hours, ONDO is probably the biggest gainer of like the more noticeable coins, the one we talk about all the time. Hype and Virtual continue to be top movers. I mean, we saw pretty much all of last week. I felt like those two coins were almost always either the biggest losers or the biggest gainers. BGB also continuing to do quite well. Rune up 10% itself. Aave continuing to make a little bit of a splash. Here's one you're going to keep an eye on. There are actually two here. Ethereum over here up 3.7. Part of the biggest reason why the Bitcoin dominance has not eclipsed that 58% we talked about last week yet is because while all the other large coins are kind of falling behind, Ethereum is making a nice little pump. Of course, you have Bitcoin up 3%, Stacks up 3.1 as soon as we remove it from our portfolio. Of course, T-Shroom. The minute we trade it out for something else, Stacks has to have itself a nice little pump. But let's get into the details of what's going on here. Let's start off with Bitcoin, and then we're going to move into some news and some altcoin stuff right now. Last night, I told you guys on X, if you follow me on X, which you guys should. I don't think all of you do, because we definitely have way more followers here on YouTube than we have on X. Go follow us on X right now. All those links are down below. Follow me, T-Shroom, and the Investing Bros account. I think Cruxus is on there as well. But I told you guys last night that there's a real chance we could get up to roughly $108,000 to $109,000 before this movement would come to an end. You guys might be saying, Tim, does that mean you're flip-flopping because you were bearish last week? Well, no, I told you guys last Friday we were in a spot where we really could rally up to resistance up here towards 108, or we could decide to fall and come back down to the downside. We have ourselves in this nice rising channel. For all of our VIP, well, not our VIP traders, because you specifically have to be one of the Ultimate members or Algo Bros Plus members. For all of our advanced members who are going through the Bros Academy right now, we talked about rising wedges today, right? We're teaching the basics of technical analysis, but this formation is similar. It's not a rising wedge, but it is a rising channel. Higher highs and higher lows. Traditionally, these break to the downside. If you take the opening, and for this one, I'm really going to use this movement right here, and you move it over to a potential breakout to the downside, we still see a potential for 90K or so to the downside. Now, this blue line I have drawn, I will admit, has to move up. If we do see a downward move on Bitcoin in the next couple of weeks, we are seeing this line come to the upside. And the reason why is because one of the things we're tracking right now is that the 2 daily chart is overextended for sure. We technically got a small sell signal on the 2 daily Bitcoin chart, but now we've moved back to the upside. We're more than likely going to set up some bearish divergence again, where the oscillator is not going to get as high as we were back here on November 26th, but clearly we're going to have a higher high in price action. But traditionally, more than 75% of the time, especially during these bull markets, we get these 2 daily sell signals. We end up coming down and we hit the 2 daily smart trail. Well, as we keep on climbing, this smart trail keeps getting higher and higher. So whereas at one point we still talked about, high end up here towards 89, low end still towards 83, this level just keeps on moving here. And right now we're kind of looking, remember that 85 we talked about last week? I think 85's out. I think the new floor right now, we're going to bring up here to 86.7, but I don't know if that gets hit. We're now going to raise this top end. 91.92 is going to be an interesting spot to look for if we end up pulling back. That, of course, would be a pullback. Let's say we hit that 108 spot. We're looking at 15 to 20%. Remember, I told you guys about a month ago, it's not abnormal this point in the market for Bitcoin to cool off. Historically, 30%, but this time I said 15 to 20% was going to be the right level. We're going to keep an eye on this box, but this box is going to keep on moving as the 2 daily smart trail continues to move. That is our target right now for a pullback on Bitcoin. If it doesn't come, I'll let you know. If there's something that pops up on the charts that says, we're ready to just explode and go to the upside, I will let you know. But I'll tell you this right now. We're going to transition into talking about some volume stuff. And it's a reason why I'm not necessarily ready just yet to say that we're going to have a major breakout to the upside. And it has to do with the volume. Why is that? Well, let's take a look at volume historically in the past. Let's just even go back to this earlier in 2024, massive volume right here in early March, towards the end when we topped out, and all that volume was kind of confirming the bullishness and transitioning into the bearishness. But then as we went from March all the way over here until October with sideways boring price action, look at the volume as a whole. Yes, we had one little spike back on August 5th, but look at the yellow line that communicates the average volume. Look at how it dips pretty dramatically. When does it pick up? It picks up back here in November. Of course, we had the election, but again, a big explosion in Bitcoin's price. But we once again have reached, albeit a rising level of consolidation, but we've reached a level of choppy, volatile price action where, look what's happening right now with the volume. The volume is dramatically decreasing. I would love to see, for a spike to the upside, a massive daily volume candle. I want to see a big green candle or big white candle, because my candles bullishly are white, but I want to see a big candle matched with increased volume, and I want to see this yellow line start to curve back to the upside. As we move towards smaller time frames, let me explain some concern that we are watching right now, as the lower time frames are showing us some big candles as we reach levels of resistance. But this is one that you should be looking at for cause for concern. Let's look at where we had big volume. Of course, big volume right in here with this candle between, this is between 7 a.m. and I guess 11 a.m. earlier. But this most recent candle starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today that just ended at 3 o'clock when we started this show. Look at how massive the volume is, right, compared to recent volume. And look at how small the corresponding candle is. What this communicates is a lot of trading happened in this 4-hour window. A lot of people buying, but because the candle is so small compared to massive volume, that means that the sellers came in as well. And ultimately what we're seeing is while the volume picked up, over the last couple 4-hour candles, and we've had 2 big spikes in volume, the volume has switched from being a buyer's market into potentially now leading into a seller's market. We haven't quite gotten to my 108 target yet, to this level we've talked about here for a while. Let's see. We've hit all our take profits on the 4-hour and the daily, so there's a chance. Oh, no, the daily still has a little higher. 4-hour for sure. Is it the 8-hour? We have a little more. Yeah, I still think there's a chance with all of this happening, even though we're starting to get some negative volume in here. I still think you could have one more shoot up into this range, touch this rising level of resistance that we've been talking about now for a couple of weeks here. This is a rising channel again. I talked about it earlier. We could reject somewhere in that zone and still have that dramatic pull down. And again, the warning signs I'm watching right now, volume is communicating a changing of the guard right now. Big volume with small candles means the trend might be coming to an end. In this case, we've been bullish. So a change in trend would lead us to the downside. I'm also going to see, as you look at the oscillators, the MACD looks like it's losing some steam here after a nice bullish push. The RSI looks like we're 100% overbought and potentially looking at, we had some bearish divergence there as well. And then, of course, you look at the Luxago oscillator, the most super-powered oscillator on the market I've ever seen. We have a red reversal. We have what looks like negative flowing money flow with excessive buyers leaving. All we need to see is another reversal and bearish momentum, and we have ourselves a nice 4-hour sell signal that could then start to ripple up into those larger time frames that we talked about already, like the daily and the 2 daily, solidify that sell signal, and then we're talking once again about a potential pullback below 100K, maybe even pushing towards lower $90,000 levels. Am I saying that's guaranteed to happen? No, I'm saying that those possibilities need to be on your radar as potential based off of historically how we've moved and also based off what the charts are showing us right now. We are seeing a changing of the guard. This trend looks like it's losing some steam. That being said, we're watching a lot of things right now, right? Let's go to the Bitcoin dominance chart right now. And I've told you guys what I would see, what I would have to see to cancel altcoin season. I need to see a daily candle both open and close above 58%. And you can see in the last week, we've been very, very close to this. Of course, on December 9th and the 10th, we wicked up very close to 58%. Today, we've made moves as high as 57.67. In fact, I don't know if that's 100% accurate because I could have sworn that we got, 57.97. We got almost right to 58%, but didn't get there. And right now, what I'm watching for is, does this continue to rally? Does this Bitcoin dominance chart continue to go up to the upside and break above 58, close today above it, open tomorrow's candle, and stay above? If that happens, you might be saying, Tim, why are we focusing on the Bitcoin dominance chart? Because this right here is the leading indicator as to whether we are in altcoin season or starting altcoin season, or if things have changed, or is Bitcoin about to make another run with altcoins not necessarily going to the downside, but lagging behind. And this chart, if we go back to it, is going to be the biggest tail of that happening. I made a switch. I did exchange some of my Bitcoin for altcoins back here late in November when I saw the dramatic pullback after hitting up to 60%. If we open and close a daily candle above, there's a chance we're heading not only back up to 60%, but possibly even higher, in which case I'm probably switching a little bit of altcoins back into Bitcoin. Why? Because Bitcoin will be the leader of that charge. What, though, is causing this to hesitate at the moment? Well, you're going to see some of the largest ones out there. Solana, not doing a lot. Solana is actually in a very bullish formation, but in a falling channel. I think there's a chance Solana makes a pullback towards 200 before it's ready to break. Solana is not going to keep that Bitcoin dominance chart down. XRP, actually number 3 right now, has a small rally, actually broken some resistance, but you're going to look at it. It's not necessarily popping off right this second. We have some news later we got to take a look at that could cause XRP to go nuts. But the main coin right now stopping the Bitcoin dominance chart from going too high is the Ethereum chart that has back up over 4,000. I'm still on watch for about 42 to 4,400 as a potential resistance. This, of course, is a breakout prediction from a bull pennant we had just a couple of weeks ago. But Ethereum actually making some good moves here today. It is the number one reason why Bitcoin dominance has not gotten back above 58%. So if you hold some ETH out there, say thank you. Tell your ETH you love it. Altcoin season at this moment is still on, but we are definitely in limbo to decide, hey, do we need to be flipping back over into some more Bitcoin, or is it still alt season? With that said, let's go into some news here before we get into altcoins. I see the super chat from SAR C. No message, but thank you so much for the support. T-Shroom, what's going on in the world of Bitcoin and crypto as a whole? Before we get into those before we get into the altcoin news, what is going on with Bitcoin news?
Absolutely. Well, the biggest headline by far is Michael Saylor, MicroStrategy, buys another 15,350 Bitcoin worth $1.5 billion with a B. It's becoming routine for them over there. And I believe they have a goal to reach 22 billion in purchases for 2025, and they're very, very ahead of schedule on that. So a lot of buying for MicroStrategies, not a surprise. That's about it. I mean, there's a lot of altcoin headlines we'll get to here in just a second, but that's what's moving markets on the Bitcoin side.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's even necessarily the it factor moving them. I think it's more just we're getting close to the end of the zone. We showed you guys, I didn't show it on the chart today, but last week we showed liquidity all the way up there towards 108 was one of the other reasons why it could get up there. I still think we're in a rising consolidation zone. Michael Saylor buying Bitcoin is a cool headline, but we get that headline all the time, whether we're bullish or bearish. Also, he's not buying from a local Coinbase exchange, right? So his volume of purchasing is not raising the price. He traditionally buys what's called over the counter, or effectively it'd be like if I went to T-Shroom, instead of buying off of Coinbase and having the market makers look at this transaction to decide is the demand increasing, I would just go to T-Shroom and say, hey man, I'll wire you $10,000, wire me $10,000 worth of Bitcoin. That has no effect on the exchanges or the market makers whatsoever, so it does not change the price of Bitcoin whatsoever. That's what Michael Saylor does when he buys this Bitcoin in such bulk. I think today's rally really is, the markets were kind of getting in limbo. We didn't know which way we wanted to go. This is a move to the upside, and I just want to caution people, it's not going to be a long-term downward movement, but I caution people to be prepared for a bull trap where we get up to that high level, that again, 108, maybe we already hit the high, but 107, 108, maybe as high as 109. And then just as you're saying, okay, I'm bullish, I have to go all in, we bring this sucker back below 100, start to push down there towards 92, 90,000, maybe dip our toes just barely below that level. And that's not the bear market. That would be the healthy, normal, scheduled pullback that Bitcoin has during this stage of the bull market before it starts another explosive leg. Like this scenario does not cancel out a $200,000 Bitcoin or higher. This is just a time you need to be prepared. Crypto is still volatile. It's why people can make a lot of wealth, but it's also why people can lose a lot if they're not paying attention to the details. And the details right now say the narratives don't match all the bullish attention that Bitcoin is getting. A pullback is healthy and probably on the way, coming very, very soon. That being said, I would love to be wrong. My portfolio would love me to be wrong. I love opening up my accounts and looking at that dollar symbol and saying, oh, I made a lot more money today because everything's going to the upside. I just am expecting it at some point to come back. I see Moonwalker said he said 80K. You're right. I said 80K. And guess what? I keep updating my level because I said 80K when we rejected on 100. And now that we've moved even higher, closer to 110, well, my floor, if the ceiling keeps getting higher, well, my floor is going to keep getting higher as well. So good point, Moonwalker. I don't want to deny it. I did say 80K. I've revised it. The floor has gotten higher. I think 90, 92 is an interesting spot. Yep. Super chat here from GD real quick. Bob Fun on ICP with having, I don't know what Bob means. That's an acronym for something. I
think it's a meme coin on ICP.
Okay. Bob Fun on ICP with having every 88 days. What's your price prediction? No idea. Never even heard of it. But thank you for the super chat.
I'd never even thought about meme coins on ICP, but I do have some more context to bring to the bros here. If you look at the daily chart for the Qs, this is pumping, and it was pumping on the 16th, and it's pumping currently. This is actually the 4 hour, so it pumped into the morning, and it's taken a little bit of a breather, but still melting higher there. This is the Qs. And then as well, you have the treasuries. This is the yield. The yield is coming back up, which means that demand is waning for treasuries. So money continuing to rotate out of risk. We're seeing it here. I mean, rotate into risk, rotate out of fixed income, which is treasuries, rotate into risk, which is QQQs, and what Tim just did an exhaustive analysis of. Bitcoin and other cryptos we'll get to are also getting a bid today, with the bubbles generally pretty green, as you can see here. So it's a movement into risk. Will it last the whole week is the question. And we do have a very big event this week. That is on Wednesday. The Fed decision will take place. We'll be going live for that more than likely. No reason not to as of now. 25 basis points is what Polymarket is predicting, to the tune of 97% certainty. Again, that's Polymarket. I believe the CME futures had it at 94 last week. So we're getting a cut, 25 basis point cut. Markets are trying to price that in.
Very good. Very good. Well, before we transition into the altcoins, we have a brand new sponsor. Some of you see it.
That's right.
Right above T-Shroom's head. But we have recently partnered with Caleb and Brown, a crypto brokerage. Now, some of you might be saying, why do I need a crypto brokerage? Well, I'll tell you this. Some of you guys are great with like Coinbase or with Uphold or with Binance or whatever exchange you use. But some of you out there might be saying, you know what? Sometimes I get things confused. I get some details wrong. I get lost. It'd be really nice to have a human connection to help me buy and transfer and operate with my crypto. And that's where Caleb Brown does come in. It is a brokerage with actual humans. They've been doing it for a very long time. I believe they have over 30,000 clients, T-Shroom. But any more information we need to know about Caleb Brown and why people should go sign up today?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be highlighting the different features of Caleb and Brad, why you would want to use them. I mean, ultimately, they're a white glove service, right? So if you're used to using, Robinhood or Coinbase, those are pretty good exchanges. But if you're looking to put in some significant capital, right, and you want to feel very confident about that capital allocation to the tune of 24/7 personalized human support, you can look no further than Caleb and Brown. We do have a link. It is our newest link in their description. So go ahead and check that out today.
Yeah. And before we move on, I want to clarify. Listen, if you are great with personal exchanges, we are not promoting and saying Caleb and Brown should be used over personal exchanges and personal wallets. But there are some brand new investors out there. There's some of you who are newer, maybe a little older, maybe less tech friendly. And this is a lot of confusing stuff right now. If you have real caution and concern about holding your own crypto, Caleb and Brown is an option out there. Like T-Stream said, use our link down below. Let them know we brought you. But it's not for everybody. And if you don't like Caleb and Brown, if you want to custody your own crypto, good for you. Do it. But if you want some extra security, they're out there. Check out the link down below. All right, let's get into it. Altcoin news. A lot of people here for it. You guys see those names. We got some big news coming. We've been tracking this one story for a while, but it's coming, I believe, tomorrow. What's going on with XRP? By the way, XRP Army, give us a shout out in chat. Drop a 1, drop a like, drop a heart. Drop something letting us know you are here and you're active. What's going on with XRP, Shroom?
Yeah, drop an X in the chat for the XRP Army. How about that? For Ripple to launch RLUSD stablecoin. They have a date now, December 17th. That is tomorrow. That is Tuesday of this week. That is just around the corner. Now, I have my speculation. I don't know that this is going to have much to do with price right on day one. But what are your thoughts there, Tim? Do you think that this could get a bid right off the rip, or do you think there could be a sell the news?
Well, so let me address the fact that this new stablecoin, there's the hot talk out there that it's gonna really put a damper on USDT, right? It's gonna compete with USDT. I don't know if right out the bat we're going to see a bunch of people transferring from using USDT into using this new Ripple, the RLUSD. The reason I think this is bullish, though, is because it's another reason to be excited. If you're an XRP holder or you're on the fence about XRP, this new headline could cause you to say, you know what, I have a little extra dry powder. This is some good news. I'm excited. I'm going to drop a little more into XRP. I think it's going to be a process, right, before the actual fundamental bullishness comes to play here, right? I don't know how quickly it'll be adopted and picked up. I know XRP holders are going to be a little bit taken back by what I'm about to say, but let's think about Cardano, right? Cardano had a massive rally in 2021 based off of hype of what was to come. Not because of what it was currently doing, but because of the hype of what the team was prioritizing and how they were building it, yada, yada, yada. You can't deny there was a massive pump in 2021. But the biggest reason why we had a cool off was because Cardano, not only was it in a bear market, but it wasn't actually doing anything yet. It was in building phase. Well, this more recent rally from Cardano, you guys can argue with me if you want, but I believe is because we're actually watching Cardano deliver on the things, and it's being their technology is being picked up and actually utilized. It's no longer a hype rally. It's an actual use case rally. I don't think it's going to take 4 years for this to happen, but I think what you could see with XRP and this news about the Ripple Labs USD is a hype rally that is not actually heavily being utilized yet, but it's a hype rally. Then things calm down. It doesn't have to pull back like bearishly, but it maybe trades sideways. And then when people actually start using it a lot, then you have the use case pump as well. So very bullish for XRP, but I don't want people like thinking that tomorrow USDT is about to crash and that XRP is going to shoot up to like $10 in the next week, right? That's unrealistic. But I could see XRP resuming its rally, getting a nice push back up. Let's actually take a look at the XRP chart and see what's going on. I mentioned it a little earlier. Something to be aware of, this wasn't a very established descending channel, right? So let's not like celebrate just yet. It's also breaking kind of boringly and sideways, but we were in a lower low and lower high formation called a falling or descending channel. And we broke that resistance, retested it as support. And so at a certain point, you could say we should have a good move to the upside. In the very least, you take the opening of this formation to that breakout point. We'll even go to the last touch. We could see XRP shoot up over $3, get up here towards 314, simply based off of this bullish formation. Even more so, though, than what I'm watching is we're within striking distance of brand new all-time highs. To do that, we would just need to get to $3.30. I think this is something that absolutely could happen for XRP. I believe that this type of hype could see a brand new all-time high for the third largest cryptocurrency in the next couple of days. But for more on that, let's take a look at what we have going on with some of our oscillators. On the bearish side, you are going to see the weekly chart. Let me scroll out here just a little bit, make it a little clearer. You do see that the RSI is well overextended, right? We came up here all the way to 91. That is very high, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, let's scroll back here and just see how many times XRP has hit a 91 on the RSI. To see the last time we did it, you'd have to go back to December of 2017. Do you guys know what happened in December 2017? I'm not about to be super bearish on XRP. So before we go crazy here in chat, I just want to make sure it's clear. The last time we saw a 90 on RSI for XRP was the top of the 2017 bull market, right? We would go into a bear market right after. But the reason I'm not bearish is because if you look back, let's go to my chart again, we actually had hit it not that long right before. So while we did see 90 be the top of the bull market, we also saw a 90 back in both in March and May of 2017. So there's going to be people out there. The reason I'm bringing this up is there's going to be people out there that say, oh, look at the last time we were this high on the RSI. It was the top of the bull market. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. XRP's over. Top is in. And I'm going to sit here and say, no, I think this probably might be more comparable to the 90 ranking that we had in March and May of 2017, several months before that bull market top. In fact, let's go take a look at what that looked like back on XRP's price action. Again, top here, December, technically January, but right there at the end of December 2017, January 2018. What did we look like back in March? Oh, would you look at this? Minor top with a little pullback. I've compared us to this level for other reasons, not just RSI. I've compared us to this reason for the 4-year cycle. The other hot top here in May started a nice little symmetrical triangle of consolidation, but ultimately we would continue to the upside with 2 more large rallies. That's what I think is absolutely possible right now. Now, again, I just said we could have a hype train here on Ripple, so we'll have to, or XRP, we have to see what happens next. But I want to clarify that if we go up because of this news, that's great. That's bullish. If we correct and come to the downside, it's okay. We've seen this happen before. It's a small little pullback that precedes a massive rally later on in the bull market, like we have been saying. And the other thing to back those up, we are starting to see some bearish signs on the other oscillators as well. This is the weekly chart. Lux Algo, we do have a red reversal. We do have bearish momentum. We do have a slowing down of money flow. But as a whole, I don't want to concern you guys because either one, your current XRP holdings are about to take off to the upside and make you a lot of money. Or number two, we're going to pull back again, probably somewhere just beneath $2 if we have that pullback. and you'll be able to buy up some more cheap XRP before the next big leg of the XRP race. So keep an eye on what happens next. I'd have to go in and do a lot more smaller time frame analysis to give you a real indication of what's next. You see some middle charts here. I'll do quickly the daily chart. Some middle kind of not bullish, not bearish indicators here on the daily chart. You do have a little bit of bounce back coming in, so we could see a little pop to the upside. But kind of the charts are telling us right now on these larger time frames, we're a little overextended. We could have a big pullback. It wouldn't even be crazy confusing because of the massive rally we've had here. But we look at those longer time frames and the historical look of how XRP's moved during a healthy bullish bull market. We could have a nice correction and then pop off like crazy. And I would be very surprised if this new Ripple Labs USD does not play a pretty critical role in that.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's so here's what I'm looking for is the speculation is that the Ripple Labs stablecoin will lead to more demand for XRP, right? And that's usually the thesis for launching a stablecoin is that the native coin is going to get more demand because people are sending the stablecoin much more to pay for goods and to pay for services, but they have to have XRP or the native coin in order to pay the gas fee. So, if that theory holds, which it's held for Ethereum for sure, in the case of USDT and USDC and the way that the mechanics work there, and for every other chain, that there should be more demand for XRP. But that's going to be a slow melt higher. That demand is going to be incremental as more and more businesses and individuals choose to use RLUSD and bring that online. The big one that I'm looking for this fundamentally is a big name saying that they're going to start buying and trading and sending and fulfilling contracts in RLUSD instead of USDC, dollars, or Tether, or some other stablecoin, or yen, or some other foreign currency. So that's going to be the big one. But what you can expect is just a slow melt higher for XRP as it gets more demand over time. We had a question on a coin that we're not going to talk about.
Yeah.
So I wanted to cover this one really quick. It's from Maren Nader. Said, for T. Shroom, the new crypto czar is AI and crypto czar. I heard he has some Solana and Render. Might be a rumor. But yeah, so this is David Sachs. David Sachs has been tapped by the Trump administration to be the crypto and AI czar. So David Sachs is one of the top. He is one of the hosts of the All In podcast, a very, very influential podcast in venture capital and in just markets today. It's one of the top podcasts in general. He does hold, according to Grok, it's been confirmed, Solana and Bitcoin. Whether or not he holds Render, I cannot confirm. I don't know. But I wouldn't pay too much attention to this because the coins that he has been confirmed holding are very, very kind of mainstream coins, Solana and Bitcoin. I would imagine that he's going to act pretty impartially as an extension of the Trump administration. This is going to be much more a regulatory clarity moment for crypto through David Sachs than it is going to be a boost for one coin or the other. But, Solana, Bitcoin, they're going to get somewhat of a boost here from David Sachs, I suppose. But great question there, Marin Nader. Let us know if you have any other questions as well.
I thought I saw there's a couple other super chats. So I do think there's a bot in chat asking about the Bob thing. And then there's another one in here asking about, I don't know, CTA. Let us know if that's a legit project or not. Just the way that was phrased was a little shilly. Crypto Sec Guy said, hey, bros, can you look at – okay, so I know this isn't a shill. Okay, there we go. I didn't even read the back half of it. Ohio State wins the championship. That's called a joke coin, Crypto Sec Guy. That's called a coin of things that will never happen. So that's what I think about that project. Should have read the whole. I should have known when I saw that he's the one that sent the super chat. I need to read that whole thing before. But a lot of times I just default to, hey, let me read it live right in front of you guys. And
yeah, I got last night. Last night I watched the documentary on Netflix about the sign stealing over at Michigan. Speaking of Ohio State. It was kind of interesting. Definitely go watch this one, Sign Stealer, on Netflix if you've got a subscription. Did you watch that one yet, Tim?
I've seen clips and I've heard a lot of breakdowns of it, The whole story is actually pretty amusing to me for the detail side, but I haven't seen the documentary.
It's super interesting. Any college football fan will find it. I learned a lot more about college football than I already knew, which was more than Tim. All right, are you ready to go ahead and jump on into the next story here, Tim?
Let's do it.
All right. I've got one for Ethereum. We'll go ahead and jump into that one. Then we'll get into ONDO. This one's just cool. From Ethereum's latest bull run has pushed its market cap past Tencent, the Chinese company, ExxonMobil, Oracle, and MasterCard, starting at $468 billion on December 16th. ETH is now approaching $490 billion. We can look at the rankings here as well, and you can see that Ethereum is now straddling Novo Nordisk and MasterCard at that 21 spot, about to break into the top 20 companies and assets by market cap. So that'll include silver and gold and major ETFs as well. Bitcoin, by the way, is in the top 10, is now number 7, rivaled only by Google, Amazon, Nvidia, and Microsoft. So moving on into the ONDO news here. So Trump's DeFi project, December crypto buying spree, nears 45 million total. Not a ton of money, right? But it's also, quite a bit for some folks. World Liberty Financial latest purchase was for $250,000 worth of ONDO, a token for decentralized exchange. What? I don't know that's even. I wonder why Cointelegraph called it a token for a decentralized exchange. But anyway, it's a tokenization coin. The point is,
but it's talking about World Liberty Financial. Maybe it's talking about
WLF. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. So not a lot of $250,000 in crypto, especially for a high cap like ONDO. Not that much money. 45 million in general. That's a lot of money for you and me for retail, right? But it's not a lot of money for institutional buyers, which are coming in. Our first headline here: MicroStrategy is buying 1.5 billion, and then Tim goes, that the market is kind of, used to that by now, and that's the institutional standard. It needs to have $1 billion, right? But nevertheless, you got the Trump stamp of approval there on ONDO. That's gonna send ricochets through the market, and people will pick that up for sure. And so, what are your thoughts on that one there, Tim?
Yeah, no. So we were talking about this a little beforehand, and I need to also make a statement about Ethereum. I need to correct a statement I made about Ethereum last week. I don't want to discourage people from Ethereum when I said that Donald Trump holding his largest holding in Ethereum isn't necessarily as bullish as you would think, because it's not like Trump has done all this deep analysis and said, "Oh, Ethereum's clearly the best." That being said, so I said that statement. I do want to clarify: it is bullish for Ethereum. And this story is bullish for ONDO, not because of the numbers, right? So you don't pay attention to numbers. They're not significant. $250,000 is a lot of money, right? I would love to invest $250,000 in ONDO. I'd love to have that right now to invest in ONDO. But when you think of the grand scheme, the grand scope of things, that's very small money. The details is what's important here. And I was just really kind of thinking about this last weekend for both Ethereum, now for this news with ONDO, pretty much any coin that Donald Trump ends up buying. And it seems like a total 180 from what I said last week. Here's why I'll say it's actually bullish that Trump owns it. I was reminded of this with my in-laws in town. My in-laws are very big Trump supporters, and I love them. I hope if they're listening to this, I want them to know, like, I'm not bad talking you. I'm just saying they are the types of people who, when they're choosing to buy crypto, because she was asking about crypto, but do you want to know the main reason my mother-in-law was asking about crypto? Because she keeps hearing Trump talk about Bitcoin. She keeps hearing Trump say things about crypto. There are people like my parent-in-laws, my mom and dad-in-law. I don't think anyone says it. Mother and father-in-law. That will only buy crypto based off what Trump decides to do. When Trump was anti-Bitcoin, they were anti-Bitcoin. Now Trump is pro-Bitcoin, they are pro-Bitcoin. And now if Trump comes out and says, "Oh, I hold Ethereum, I hold ONDO, I own this, I own that," well, they're going to say, "Okay, where do we go buy those things?" Because if Trump thinks they're good, then we think they're good as well. So I want to make sure it's clear here. This is actually very bullish, even though $250,000 is not a big deal, right? That's not that much money. The money that could follow this type of a move, because Trump is endorsing it, it is something to be aware of. That could be a massive move. And ONDO is one of our coins. We talked about it. It had one of the biggest moves the last 24 hours. As we go take a look at the charts, it's The daily chart is technically a little bearish here, just like Bitcoin. I wouldn't be surprised to see some form of a pullback here. The volume you can see on the daily charts, nothing necessarily to write home about, but more than likely a lot of this pump was based off of that news. It did pump, of course, to new all-time highs that we've been hitting all of this week pretty much. But keep an eye on what's going to go on. Let's take a look at some of the details and some of the details wow, blank on the words. The details here of the oscillators and the indicators. Maybe you need to drink some water. Maybe my brain's not hydrated enough. Give me a second.
Got to hydrate, Tim. We got a lot of super chats, bros. Hang in there. We're going to get to them.
All right. Now that I got some water in me, let's take a look at the Bitcoin or the ONDO chart here. Overextended, 100% overbought in the RSI, and we've been trailing, making a bunch of bearish divergences here. This is like a ticking time bomb of saying, hey, correction on ONDO is needed, right? A lot of bearish divergence in here. I'll show you a level that I'm interested in just a little bit. MACD definitely slowing down its momentum right here. It had a big pull. It's rallying a little bit more, but it's really slowing down. And then, of course, we look at the Lux-Algo oscillator. The oscillator itself is pumped back up, but notice what continues to go to the downside. And this is something we told you last week, not to sell until we saw the official sell signal, right? If you were in our trading group, we told you do not sell yet, but keep an eye on it. We have the red reversal right here. You can see we have the bearish momentum, and the money flow is just now crossing bearish with the excessive buyers leaving. This is not a good sign if you're longing ONDO right now. And if you're looking for a place to long, by the way, check out Blowfin in the link down below. We have some really cool things going on there. But when you trade with our account, you also enter to win $500 monthly. So you might as well go trade with our link down below in Blowfin. Connect it to our Discord. We'll get you going. But if you're looking to trade this, I'm not looking for a long position here. I absolutely am looking for a short. I start to turn on the other indicators. We had a buy signal just a couple of days ago. Guess what? We're hitting those take profits. As I look at the volume here, same thing kind of coming in here. We had big volume come in. But guess what? This morning, this isn't quite this morning. This is yesterday, last night. The wick that went the highest, the wick that shot up to 214 that happened late last night. Look at the volume. It's red. It's large with a very small candle. What does that communicate? We talked about this earlier, but I'll remind you guys. Big volume with a big candle communicates buying pressure. Bullish candle, bullish volume, a lot of people are buying. Large volume with small candle means the trend is changing. And this one, it didn't only just change, it went bearish. And even though the next candle was bullish, and we've had a couple other bullish ones happen, this looks like a changing of the guards. I already showed you on the longer time frames, like the daily chart, we got a sell signal coming in. We also will see that smart trail, again, the target when you get a sell signal, coming in down here between 160 and 144, though it is rising. This is what I want you to keep your eyes on, though. If you are watching to say, hey, where could we trade back to? We're going to look at liquidations charts, and we're going to take a look at where we see some interesting liquidity. Look down here at 150, possibly trickling down to 140, but I really like the liquidations right here on 150. This is going to be a zone to keep an eye on. Why? Because we're filling out all the liquidity up top. We're getting some longer-term sell signals. We need to cool off. Watch traders target the long positions right around or right under 150 as the goal target for a long on ONDO. You can see here, there's kind of a gap. If I zoom out a little bit, you kind of have a gap here between 144 and then all the way down to 120. I think 120 is a dramatic pullback here. I don't think that we need to see an ONDO pullback of almost 50%. You know, it's a 45% pullback. I don't think we need to see an ONDO 45% pullback. I do think somewhere here in the world of 30%, though, is doable for ONDO at this point in the market. So keep an eye on those liquidation levels right here around 150. If you're looking at these and saying, wow, I've never seen liquidation levels on a chart, on a trading view chart, that's because you've never seen the Bros indicator package. That also is in the link down below. Check those out if you want to add this to your tool. It is not expensive whatsoever. We purposely made these tools super cheap because we knew that people, if you're going to get, I fully think you guys should buy Lux-Algo. That's going to cost you somewhere between 40 to 60 bucks a month. I did not want to make a tool that also would pile on another $60. It is $14 for regular users. If you're one of our paying members over in our Discord, whether you're a VIP trader or an Ultimates or Pro Bros, all of you guys can get a discount code over there for 50% off. So heavily encourage you guys to go check those out. But that on ONDO, very bullish sign that Trump's backing it. but these liquidation charts do show us a 30% pullback back towards 150. Looks very interesting as we are seeing potential sell signals start to pop up.
Yeah, ONDO might be coming up. A good time to DCA into it. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
All right, we've got some breaking news, and then we'll get to the Hedera Chainlink collaboration that's coming up. But Tim, I might want to get your
super chats too.
Oh, we got so many super chats, but we've got time to cover them. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is considering resigning as of CT. According to CTV. So we're not going to get into the details of this one here, but overall, you think it's about time for him to quit there?
Do you think that he's going to be? Do you think this is like his? He's not liked. Okay, let's just put it that way. He is not well liked. I'm not going to say there's not a single Canadian out there that likes that does like him. There's crazy people out there, but I know people.
Don't call them crazy.
Know people who tell me even their more left-leaning liberal Canadian friends are fed up with him. He's ruining their country. So I think it's about time. The question is this a part of, because they have a parliamentary system. I don't know what the official name is it for, but is this like his party pushing him out? Is this him saying, I'm tired of the stress and the chaos? Is this him saying, well, I don't want to work alongside Donald Trump? Like, I don't know what the reason is, but I can tell you this. If I'm Canadian, I don't care what the reason is. The good part is that he's going to be out. I've seen a lot of people actually saying recently that most Canadians are expecting the next leader to be conservative. This news I think is very good. I think Canadians everywhere are rejoicing today seeing this headline.
Right. And I would just say him stepping down is going to be good for the economics of Canada, and Canadians can rejoice. We do have some Canadians in the chat for sure. Junior definitely comes to mind.
Yep.
Hedera and Chainlink.
If you're Canadian, drop a Canadian flag in chat. If you're from Canada, drop a flag. I'm interested how many people are from the great country. Or hold on real quick. Didn't Trump make a joke that he was the governor? If you're from the great state of Canada, put a Canadian flag in chat.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. All right. Exciting news. Chainlink data feeds and Chainlink proof of reserve are now live on the Hedera network. This integration takes transparency to the next level, enabling seamless access to high-quality, tamper-proof data and reserves verification, which is essential for building secure DeFi and tokenization applications. So this one is an interesting one. I've got some thoughts on it here. Yeah. But Tim, what's your reaction here to this collaboration?
Good. I mean, watch Chainlink collab with everybody. This is part of it being an oracle, being a part of the biggest exchange of money, the way that Web 2 and Web 3 interact with each other, but even how Web 3 to Web 3 interact. You're going to see a lot more articles like this. HBAR, a new hot coin on the block. A lot of people bullish on it. It's had a massive rally here more recently. I love it. I love this news, but I'm not surprised, and I'm expecting more and more headlines that look similar to this to be popping out, because we've already seen a lot. We've already seen Chainlink partner with a lot of coins. I probably couldn't even remember the full list of them. Somebody post in chat. Go post in chat right now the list of all of the recent headlines of Link's partnerships. But I love it. I love it for HBAR. I love it for Chainlink. This is bullish for the crypto space as a whole. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and my opinion is pretty simple. I think that Hedera, in this moment, Hedera, HBAR needs Chainlink more than Chainlink needs HBAR, Hedera. Mm-hmm. But that's just purely from a moment of hype, a moment in the sunlight standpoint. How do I know this? Well, Chainlink is pumping. Hedera is actually down more than 4% today. And we'll perhaps take a look at the charts. But what that tells me is it's not that HBAR is a bad coin. It's not. It's a great project. It's getting a bid here after being pretty sleepy through the second half of 2024. But it's trying to extend the rally higher as its low momentum is slowing. It's doing that through PR. How long it's been sitting on this headline, who knows, right? But Chainlink is just kind of there being like, hey, we'll take it. We'll add it to our big wall of bullishness. Tim, what are you seeing on the charts?
Yeah, let's take a look at how both of these are responding. Again, both of them with big pumps recently. Let me show you this, the Chainlink chart. Again, reaching up over $30 here more recently. If I flip over to HBAR down here, HBAR had a huge run over the last couple of weeks. Made it all the way up back to 39, almost 40 cents. It has been correcting, as you said, and what I'm watching right now is this trend line here. I'll go to the 4 hours to show it a little more clearly. we really haven't established what the support trend looks like. I don't know. You know, we talked about trend lines earlier today with our trading group as well. Some people are going to say this should be on the table, but of course, then you have this massive move right here. There's going to be others that say maybe you look at it like this, and we just have a couple of wicks below, or potentially do we see some form of a falling channel? Either way it is, I mean, I do think we're going to see a bounce back here on HBAR. Let's take a look at what the indicators are looking like, what the oscillators are looking like. As we said, pullbacks are coming for the ones that are still rallying, but the ones that did rally and they're a little disappointing. Well, these are a little ahead of schedule in their sell-offs. Red reversal, bearish momentum, negative money flow. Excessive buyers are gone. There's a very clear sell signal that came in here just a couple of days ago back on the 13th. This traditionally should fall back towards this daily smart trail. I think if this happens, we're going to see that descending channel, very bullish formation. But look at where the smart trail is down here towards 24 cents, give or take. The low end coming all the way down to 21. But you just need a little kiss of it for that sell signal, and you should be good. For more on that, let's take a look at liquidations. I'm going to go to the 4-hour. Big stack of liquidations there at 20 cents. But let's see what the 4-hour is saying, because that's going to be, I think, a good grouping, a good timeline to see a pullback of liquidity. A little rally to the upside, but okay. All right, so I'm going to say 20 cents. I mean, based off I'm not seeing anything else here on the 4-hour chart, that 20 cents we saw on the daily chart is going to have to stick out and mean a lot to you when it comes to liquidity. Like I said, if you go back and you look at the daily chart smart trail, you absolutely could see 20 cents. The lower end is right here at 21, but it's scooping to the downside. If you were to extend this trend line that we just talked about, let's go back to the 4-hour to draw this correctly. But if you do want to say, hey, we got a little bit of a trend line here, let's clone this one, and let's just move this over to some support touches we've had here more recently. We could come down and hit 20 cents down in the range back later here in December, around the 19th, 20th, could be an area to keep an eye on HBAR. But that's the reason why it's correcting. That's the reason why it is down. It's had such an amazing rally. Having a nice, healthy pullback, healthy correction, absolutely should be on the table. Last thing I'll look at here before I move on, let's take a look at Fibonacci here, see if we see added confluence. 20 cents, 22 cents is going to be that 0.5 range. Not quite golden pocket, which is at 19, but that range just dropping maybe a little bit below that 0.5. That would make a lot of sense for a pullback here on HBAR. Let's check on Chainlink, though. If you're in the Link Marines, drop a 1 in the comments. It has been it had a nice rally here, and then it's slowly the last couple of days consolidating. You do see a little bit of a rising channel in play there, but let's take a look at the daily chart. Let's zoom out, and then we'll kind of zoom in and see what's going on here. Definitely 100% overbought in the RSI. Definitely see bearish divergence where we're setting lower highs in oscillators, higher highs in price action. The MACD does look like it's slowing down here. You know, we had a sell signal in play where we had all three negatives, the red reversal, the bearish momentum, and negative money flow, but it kind of got ignored. And that's kind of well, it didn't get ignored. We did pull back. Okay, did we hit the smart trail is the question here. We did. All right. So the sell signal we got more recently looks like it already hit. But at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised to see us come back down in that range again. We still are overextended here. We still are above the take profit levels. If I look at volume, the volume's been good here, but the volume is still kind of dwindling at the moment, kind of saying this momentum move looks like it's coming to a close. I would love to see Chainlink shoot to the upside, but I'm just a realist here. I told you guys earlier, I saw a little bit of a rising channel at play. You definitely see in this smaller time frame, the 4-hour chart, rising support, and then this is gonna be hotly debated. This could be a bullish formation if we're gonna see a flat top here, because you kind of do see 3 touches in that range. If this is an ascending triangle, that's gonna be your best hope for a bigger move to the upside. We do have neutral oscillators on the 4-hour chart, but this is gonna be one to watch. Can we break above and set a new cycle high here, getting back above, maybe get to $31 or so? If so, nice big bullish move to the upside. If not, though, there's going to be other people who are kind of more tracking a resistance level in this kind of range, in which maybe we're a little bit higher, but we eject with low volume, and then we make a bigger move to the downside. I'm concerned about these longer time frames right now, Shroom, where we're not seeing it necessarily be as good. If we do move to the downside, liquidity-wise, let's take a look at the 4-hour and see where liquidations are kind of sitting and where they're telling us longs are positioned that could get exposed. A move back down here towards 26. $26 would make sense there. Massive gap in volume all the way down towards 18. I don't think we need to go all the way to 18. I think a move down towards 26 should suffice. You can see in that same area, we have nice bullish order blocks in play here. So I would love to scoop some up, and that's what I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch that $26, $27 range to be scooping up some more Chainlink on this bullish news. If not, if we break out above 31 with that with that rising triangle, ascending triangle, things get very explosive on Chainlink. Good news is I got a very large bag already. I just wish I could add some more around $26.
Yeah, I feel similarly. Smash the like button if you guys are enjoying Tim's crispy camera angle. We've made some modifications before the stream, and I think they look really good. Tim, you ready to get into these super chats?
Yeah, we got a lot. What do you got for me?
We've got a decent amount here. I'm going, unfortunately, I'm going to skip through the obvious meme shills, of which there's not a terrible amount, so that's good. But Seth Shepard said, donating $5. Thank you, Seth. Said Polkadot or Cosmos or both. Man, that is, and I'll just go ahead and go first. You're talking about interoperability. Those are the two biggest names. Unfortunately, I think what we've seen, it's kind of similar for is that there's been a lot of interoperability between chains themselves, like AVAX and Solana, Ethereum. Like there's a lot of interoperability emerging. That doesn't mean that everything's all is lost for Polkadot and Cosmos. Quite the contrary. These are two very, very well resourced projects that can pivot and find a need to fill. Tim, what are your thoughts on the interoperability coins, Polkadot and Cosmos?
Yeah, listen, I still think both of these coins are going to do well. If you're going to ask me which coin will finish ranked higher than the other coin, I'm going to say Polkadot, right? I don't think the Cosmos is going to surpass Polkadot. But if you're asking me, I have $100 or $1,000 or $10,000 and I have to invest in one of these two, I think they're going to perform similarly, but for that reason, you have to give the edge to the smaller market cap, right? Which is Cosmos. Why? Because for example, let's say they match tit for tat and they both increased by $50 billion, right? That's going to mean a lot more to the Cosmo ecosystem than it is to the Polkadot ecosystem. I don't think it's going to happen. Again, I think we'll see DOT increase by more when it comes to market cap. I just think it's just easier for coins that trade similarly and move similarly and are competitors. It's easier for the smaller market cap to make more gains in your portfolio. And that's ultimately what we're talking about here. We're talking about how can we increase our portfolio. And so while I wouldn't necessarily push people first and foremost to these two coins in the first place as being maybe like a top 10, top 15 holding, if you are going to hold one, I just think Cosmos has a bigger upside in terms of wealth potential, at least in this bull market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good take. Got Crypto Archie coming in saying bros are killing it. Thank you, Archie. It's great to see you. Hope you are doing well. Davy Cakes said, maybe not for today, but Quant would be an interesting dive in the future. Wonder what you guys think. Seems like it is moving recently with the niche. I agree. It does seem like Quant is getting a little bit of a bid here, and I'm starting to hear a little bit more about it on crypto Twitter and even on the lips of my own partner here, Tim.
We talked a little bit stream. Yeah, talk about it a little bit on the Saturday show. Quant's an interesting one. Get some big attention here more recently. It's a lower ranked coin. Again, I'm not a big investor in coins that are not in the top 100. You can make a lot of money in coins that are not top 100. It's just hard to find the right ones. But when you see a coin that's on the lower end of the top 100, so I think Quant's somewhere around the low 70s. It was 71 or 72 the other day. I got to give it an edge just because its market cap's not very big. Let me take a look at it real quickly. Let me find it again, because again, the other day it was around 70. Let's see if it's rallied or fallen or whatever. All right, it fell. It's down to 76 now. A $1.6 billion market cap. Guys, that means even if this thing only goes to like 20 billion, or if it only goes to like 30 billion, which is not a lot of money compared to what the top coins, that still is anywhere between above a 10x to potentially pushing to 20 or 30x. 1.6, I guess 30 billion wouldn't give it a 30x, but I think a 10x is still on the table for Quant simply because it's low ranked. It's still got a small market cap. Could it fall off and die? It could, but with recent momentum, that makes me believe there's community there, there's excitement there. Unless there's evidence out there, and someone can fact check me and say, Tim, that's exactly what happened. Unless there's evidence out there to say that one large account just bought a whole bunch of quant, so you kind of have some centralization there, and they're going to dump their bags on people. If that happened, let me know, right? I don't know if that happened or not, but that would be my only reason to be bearish. To me, I don't think that's the case, though. I think if you're top 100 and you pump like that, that's a lot of people bullish on you. That's a lot of people putting faith in you. That's going to be followed by other people putting faith in you. I think a 10x still on the table for quant, and so I'm bullish on it.
And again, bros, I see some people donating non-insignificant amounts of money to pump meme coins here. This is just not the channel for that. And I hate to see donating money. Just don't do it here. Go to a channel that will do that. RC Moore said, can Link hit 300 to 600 this bull market? I think, Tim, you got a simple answer for that one.
C,
as in the Spanish word for yes.
Isn't it also the Italian word for yes?
It might be. It might be, but Tim, you're just so knowledgeable, such a man of the world that I don't even know. I don't know.
Man of many languages.
That's right.
Yes.
All right. Speaking of which, let's test that knowledge of yours with a factoid of the day brought to you all by decrypted.tax. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. What is the maximum weight a recreational drone can carry under FAA regulation in the good old U.S.? Is it, which is the same, which I will clarify, is the same as the USA, is the same as the good old U.S. So no trick questions there. Is it
why is the question about drones today?
I don't know. There's a lot.
Is there anything happening with drones?
Why? You tell me. A, 10 pounds, B, 20 pounds, C, 55, or is it D, 100 pounds? What's the answer here, Tim?
I got no idea, but 55, I mean, if they drop from a significant height, all of these are going to be pretty dangerous. So it makes me think it's not 100 or 55. I'm really down between A and B. 10 or 20 pounds.
Okay.
I mean, again, if this thing is like 100 feet in the air, both of those are going to hit you if it hits you in the head. It's going to hurt. I don't know if it'll kill you necessarily, but it definitely would hurt. I'm going to say it's a little heavier than you would think, but it's not heavy. I'm going to go 20 pounds. 20 pounds is the limit for drones to carry.
All right, he's going 20. Regulations. He's going 20. He's very familiar with the FAA here.
I'm not, but I hope I'm right. It is 55.
Please, no!
Wow.
Yeah, any drone over this weight requires special certification, Tim. And you would know that if you've ever tried to film a wedding, because most weddings, they want drone footage now. And
fun fact, T-Shirm, I've never videoed a wedding. I don't know if that's a normal thing for most people to have on their resume. Have you ever filmed a wedding?
I have.
I know Smay's filmed a wedding. So if he was here, I would be the outlier of the three of us then on having never filmed. I pulled a phone out once at a wedding and took a short video. Does that count?
No.
Okay, then no, I haven't filmed a wedding.
Let us know. Did you know the answer to that one? I did. I did know the answer to that one, even though the Factoid Elf, which I don't know. It doesn't seem like the Factoid Elf has been getting along with Smay and I think it's because Smay keeps referring to himself as the one who's originating these factoids. When I think the Factoid Elf's getting no credit. He's getting no respect. We'll see if it changes.
No respect whatsoever.
Weddings are low-hanging fruit, said Kyle Fields. Kyle, hope you're doing well, man. Started my day with a meeting with Kyle Fields. We had a great exchange. Kyle is a great guy, very blessed by God. So really cool to chat with him.
We're going to wrap up today's show. Not some time for Q&A, but guess what? Tomorrow, we did a lot of charts today, though. We did planned charts, but tomorrow, unless the news is just astronomical, a lot of Q&A. Come back tomorrow with some charts. But if you want to get more charts than that, make sure to join our VIP trading group. There's so many ways to do it. Buy Luxol, go get that indicator. Go join one of our membership options. There's a lot of ways to get in there and be a part of the VIP trading group. Ultimately, just go be in there, and I can do TA on some of your favorite charts. Speaking of, there's a Q&A today at 4 p.m. with T. Shroom right after the show. I'll be going live at 7 p.m. before our X Spaces start tonight at 8 p.m. You do not want to miss it. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Got to come up with a title and a thought there. Maybe you guys have suggestions. Drop them in the chat. But with our closing thought of the day is you guys smash the like and hit subscribe on your way out. I had an interview last week with a friend of the channel, Chris Inks, where, he talked about trading a lot, and he said something that I really, really like. I don't know if I said this on Saturday or if I said it to my trading group, but I'm going to say it again because there's some people out there that need to hear it. There's a lot of ways to make gains in the trading world. And if you have been trading for a while, you know that you can have a hot streak. But the only thing you really have control over is how much money you lose. You can make $1 million in a week and blow it all in one bad trade. But if you have proper risk management, if you think through your trades and make sure you have stop losses put in place and protect your wealth, that is the difference between good and bad traders. Everyone wins and everyone loses at some point. If you've lost every trade you've ever entered, you're a perfect trader. You just need to flip your thing. Everybody wins and everybody loses. The difference between good traders and bad traders is good traders know how to manage their risk and to control how much they lose when they're wrong. I encourage you guys, if you're looking for a community to learn more about that, you found the right channel here. You found the Investing Bros. Come join our members where we're talking about that every single day. Join our highest level of Ultimates members, and you can be a part of our Bros Academy where we teach you guys all the basics of charting, of trading, to make sure that you know how to manage that wealth, but also choose some winning trades. With that said, love you guys. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Adios.